to a new episode of the most famous person I barely met. I'm your host, John McCaffrey, and I'm very excited today, very eager for this episode as it's a historic one. It's the first in-person interview in the series, and for that I'm honored to have Christopher Soprano, a fellow Villanova grad who is visiting me in Waynescott, Long Island. Chris has helped develop this studio, built it from his bare hands in weeks now. He is a great friend of mine, a long-term friend. He is a businessman. He's a world traveler. He's a very good athlete. He's competitive, and he often wins. And on this case, I think you're going to win, the audience. His nickname is Soupy, not after his last name Soprano, but because he is one of the foremost experts in consomme, gazpacho, and any sort of beverage that's heated and ate. Christopher, welcome.
Thank you very much, John. And to paraphrase Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze, God rest his soul, in Ghost Ditto, is that, John, you're a very good friend of mine, and I cherish our friendship. And it's an honor to make history with you in John McCaffrey Studios in the beautiful Waynescott part of East Hampton, Long Island.
Yes, and as we speak right now, there is a hurricane possibly bearing down on us. But even if we get blown away, we're going to continue to talk no matter what. Swayze, I often am compared to him in Dirty Dancing. Not because of the way we dance or look, but a lot of the angst that he had in life with that show.
Actually, my guilty pleasure is a little-known movie called Roadhouse.
Oh, I love Roadhouse.
Which actually was this article in the New York Times, is one of the best bad movies that you'll ever see, the category of best bad movies.
I'm going to say right now, if I'm channel surfing, or anyone who still watches television and Roadhouse is on, I'm not going anywhere. Huh? And I still get mad at Ben Gazzara. I yell at him. It's a beautiful movie. There's a lot of wisdom.
Well, actually, I think of John as well. There was a movie called Point Break with Mr. Swayze, and the tagline was "Pure adrenaline, pure Swayze." Yes. And when I think of this podcast, I think of the same context: pure adrenaline, pure McCaffrey.
That's brilliant. I love that movie too, and Keanu Reeves, but I don't like the ending. I want him to drag him to jail. I don't want Swayze to die. I don't want him to die out there in the waves. A lot of people compare me to pure adrenaline right now, or just the opposite. I'm very slow. And just to prove that we are in person, I'm going to reach over. We were holding hands before this, but now I'm holding his hand. Do you feel that? It's not AI generated, because Chris is a big AI guy right now. He's shown me the genius of ChatGPT, and I'll never use it, but he's shown me the genius of it. But we are in the flesh. We are real. And Christopher, you are also from Jersey, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Caldwell,
New Jersey.
Okay.
And for those trivia buffs out there, that Caldwell, New Jersey, which is about 20 miles due west of New York City, used to be a unique trivia question. Mm-hmm. Before the last election, New Jersey was the birthplace of the only two-term, non-consecutive president of the United States. He had the 20th president of the United States. He was the 22nd president of the United States. That's why there was always one more president than presidencies.
Okay.
Or sorry, the other way around, presidencies and presidents.
Okay.
And that man's name, Grover Cleveland, born in Caldwell, New Jersey.
Beautiful man. He was on episode 2 of the most famous Grover Cleveland. Out there, you don't see too many Grovers anymore. You don't. It's a dying name, isn't it? Grover Cleveland.
Yeah.
And now you live in London.
Yes.
What part of London?
I live in a little hamlet within London called Bayswater, and that is, maybe people know a little bit. It's right next to Notting Hill. Most people are familiar with Notting Hill from a beautiful little movie called Notting Hill, with one of your favorites, Hugh Grant.
I don't like Hugh Grant at all.
And Julia Roberts.
Okay. I did like him in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, but I can't. I don't know. After a while, he just stammers and the same kind of thing. And now he's kind of old. And I don't know. I like Notting Hill though. What's the biggest difference between America and Britain, off the top of your head?
Well, that's a
big question.
That's a big question. I usually compare New York and London.
New York and London. All right.
And New York is a better night city, and London is a better day city.
Ah,
Actually, maybe I said the opposite way. New York's a better night city. London is a better day city.
that's nice.
Where New York at night, the city never sleeps, the bars and restaurants. So you get to the point of your life where your days are more important than your nights, and that kind of happened to me in my 30s. That I moved over here because London has all the parks and a very good pedestrian city, and has the beer gardens and just a wonderful place to be on the day.
What a nice little way to compare that. My days and nights kind of blend now. I have no clue. For our many Villanova fans out there, a lot of people watching, Chris and I were in the same dorm, Core Hall, all the Core Hall people. And we were there for Villanova's first championship in 1985 basketball. And Chris, you were there. Am I correct?
Yes, I was. 1985, I went to Lexington. Little known fact that from these people who remember, the coach at the time was Raleigh Massimino. And Raleigh Massimino is actually a relative of mine, the cousin of the family. And he is the man who got me the ticket to go to Lexington for the Final Four. Just a quick anecdote about the Core Hall thing. That I visited the campus, and we got a tour of it by one of the students that was going there, passing by Core Hall, and he said, "That's Core Hall. That is the freshman dorm, freshman only." He said, "It is the smallest rooms, but the thing about Core Hall is that the people that are friends in Core Hall from freshmen are friends throughout the whole 4 years."
Oh, that's something.
When I put in my application and my request, I put in Core Hall, and no truer words have ever been spoken, because now we are, 30 years out of Villanova, and my core friends, the play on words there, are the guys from Core Hall.
Yeah.
And this is a case in point that John and I have stayed together for all these years and maintained a fantastic friendship.
Yeah, very well said. It's true. It was kind of too, Villanova at that time. It still is. It was segregated, guys, girls, and all that. And Core Hall, we're all freshmen. There was more guys than girls at Villanova. So we were, as freshmen, we were in kind of trouble. So you had to bond together. You had to make each other laugh and things like that, and we did. And we played a lot of basketball. In fact, I met Chris. The first time I met him, I was shooting baskets behind Core Hall. He came down and he said, "Do you want to play one-on-one?" Which is an odd thing to ask people. No one ever. But we started playing, and I'm not a bad shooter. He's taller, stronger. And he was getting very mad that I was sort of ahead. And he made some sort of suggestion that I shouldn't be winning. And I think he did win in the end. So I've always remembered that. But it was a great place to be a freshman. It was a great place to go to college. And we've stayed friends, and a lot of us stayed friends. And one thing about this young man next to me, he's a great connector. He keeps people together. He's really good at that. He organizes things. He calls you. He visits. So I appreciate that about him. And you went to and then later he's a diehard Villanova supporter and all that. You've been to other championships that we won?
I went to the one when we won in San Antonio.
Okay.
When we beat Michigan. That was a very special one. And actually, unfortunately, I went to the one in New Orleans where we lost that one, but it was still New Orleans. It was
They cheated. They cheated. Question: who is your favorite Villanova basketball player of all time?
That's a very, very good question. I would probably have to go with one of the more recent ones, is Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh, I love Dante.
As a fellow Paisan.
Yes, he is.
East Coast guy.
The big ragu.
Exactly. Another a great nickname as well.
Mine, not that he asked, but anyone wants to know, Frank Happy Dobbs, my favorite player ever. When I was a freshman, he was older. I love from Pittsburgh, Frank Happy Dobbs, or the Nova people out there. So very good, very good, very good. Well, Chris is one of these people. He goes everywhere. He's been everywhere. He's engaging. He's very genial. He's not shy. And so, unsurprisingly, he's met a lot of famous people. He's met a lot of famous people. And not just meeting them, he kind of gets to know them a little bit. So, for this episode, as I say usually to people, who is the most famous person you barely met? For Mr. Soprano, I'm going to say, who are the most famous people that you've met? that you've met? And I'll ask you now to start the stories, and I will stop you when you're done. Who would you like to begin with?
Well, the first one is actually a homage to you, John.
Thank you.
It's a
Brad Pitt.
it's an author.
Okay.
A man by the name of Salman Rushdie.
Okay.
And for those of you watching at home who are not familiar with Salman Rushdie he was an author in 1988, I want to say, wrote a book called The Satanic Verses, which off the back of it, which was what the Ayatollah Khomeini in Iran considered to be blasphemous towards the Islamic religion.
Nice.
And off the back of it, he issued a fatwa to have Salman assassinated.
Right.
And actually, he had to go into hiding for a little bit. So that's the backdrop of the story. So in the late 90s, I was working in Mayfair, in a little part of London, and was right near Grosvenor Square, which is right next to the U.S. Embassy. So I'm walking through, my parents were visiting me at that time, and we're walking past the embassy, and there may be a couple steps behind me. And I look over, and there's Salman Rushdie.
There we go.
So I walk up to him, and I said, "Are you who I think you are?" And he's a very demure man, and he just nodded his head. And I said, "Mom and Dad, this is Salman Rushdie, a very famous author. He wrote a book called The Satanic Verses."
Nice.
And I said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "Well, my son is an American, and he's inside the embassy, and he's getting his passport."
Really?
I was like, "Oh, fantastic." And so then my mother has her camera, her mobile phone, and says, "Oh, can we all take a picture together?" And I looked over at him, and again, very demure man, and he just shook his head. And my parents were like, "Oh, that's a shame." And I said, "Guys, did you ever hear of something called the fatwa?" Like, "No, what's that?" Like, "Let's get out of here."
Yeah.
Makes it
You look around. That's brilliant. Brilliant. I really like. Well, first of all, what a great writer. So thank you for even thinking of me in that same breath. I've been, that bad pun, dying for someone to put a fatwa on because I think it would help sell my books. But I like how you approached them, because you said, "Are you who you think? Are you who I think you are?" Because you didn't scream out Salman Rushdie. You know what I mean? And scare him half to death. So that was very astute. Go. That's a big get, Salman Rushdie, and God love him. I know he's had some physical stuff and all that, but he's a great writer. Great writer.
Yeah, well, just a recent memory. He was attacked, right?
He was attacked.
Stabbed on stage. So
Yeah,
that kind of lived.
Yeah,
ever since that time.
No, he's but that is a great story, and your approach to him was real. I'm most impressed by that, because it wasn't you're going to leave him alone. Right? You couldn't just say, "Mom, that's." You had to go make sure it was him. Okay, and I give him credit for saying yes, because he could have just bluffed you off, right? He could have bluffed you off. So that's a good start. So we get Afwata, we get Salman Rushdie, and he's comparing me to him, which I'll take. What do you got now? What do you got next?
The next one also too, I thought of you as well when I was going through my stories, and you and I were fans of game shows growing up.
Still am.
And there was the game show on MTV when we grew up called Remote Control.
Right. great.
And remote control, there were 3 contestants who sat in these lazy boy lounges with remote controls in their hand, and the categories were TV channels. There were things like one of the categories called Dead or Canadian. That they would put a person up there like Donald Sutherland, the Canadian guy, and say Dead or Canadian, and they would then the contestant would make their choice. So a friend of mine is a writer on the show, and invites me to go to a filming in New York City.
Okay.
So I go there, got there early, very exciting, met the whole crew. And one of the hosts, a hostess, was a woman by the name of Elisa Coppola.
Okay.
Which, as kids, we all had a little bit of crush on her. So I was a little starstruck when I saw her. So filming starts. I go sit in the bleachers. They were these long benches, not individual seats, and sat on the first one. And in between takes, that she would come over and walk over to me and sit down next to me and start having a chit chat while they were setting up the next scene.
Okay.
And I can hear like the whispers of the people in the audience behind me. There she is. The show's done filming. I go to greet my friend who's the writer on the show, and he goes, "I think she likes you." It's like, okay. So I go looking for her.
Okay.
Go through the bowels of the studio, finally find her in her dressing room.
Okay. Careful. Put the kids to bed now. Here we go. Okay.
Go into the dressing room, chit chat. Do you mind if I get your phone number? She says, sure. She writes down her phone number for me. So now I'm leaving there. I'm literally walking on air. Like, this is my 15 minutes of fame. I'll be going out with a B-list celebrity. Get to my car, and I was meeting the Villanova guys at a bar called Texas, Arizona, kind of midtown-ish.
I remember that.
So I'm driving down there, and it took me about a good 10, 15 minutes to find a parking spot. In New York City, you're up avenues, you're down streets. I find one, so I park. Get out of my car, I park, and again, brimming with confidence. Walking to a corner, and there's a department store right there, and I see this young woman looking at a dress on a mannequin in the shop window. And I walk up to her and I said, "Would you like me to buy that for you?" And she smiles politely and walks away. I take about 4 more steps at the corner.
Yeah.
And I hear the words, "You never quit, do you?" I look over, and at the stoplight, in the MTV limo, in the back seat, is Elisa Coppola, that apparently had witnessed the whole thing. And I gave it the Ralph Cramden, humna humna, humna humna humna. That was my sister. And she just stuck her head, and then just the dark glass smoked window just went up to that, and she sped off. And I did try to call her.
Did you?
Yeah. Left a couple messages, called about 5 times. Shocker, but she never called me back.
It wasn't true. I just felt like I just lived through a Seinfeld episode. It's like George with Marissa Tomei. God, there's so much to think about with that one. And I do, it's so true. I love those old game shows and remote control in the 80s. And these people like Lisa Coppola are like larger than life. It's just gorgeous. So she just randomly picked you out to sit next to and start talking, or did your friend broker that? Or
no. So when I
saw you in the audience and said, "That's my new."
No, my friend who was right on the show was friends with her, and so I got there a little bit early for the show, and he introduced us, and so we chatted for about 5 or 10 minutes before the show.
Little witty banter to win her.
Arguably.
Well, you're a very handsome young man. I could see why she would like you. Affable, right? So you go out, you're happy you got her number, you're very excited, you're feeling your oats, as we say, right?
As you do.
And, I have a friend. His name is Mo Kornbluth, one of the greatest friends I've ever had, older guy. And he had a beautiful wife named Fran. He was very in love. He said, the more in love I am with Fran, the more beautiful every woman is in the world. So I am going to take your side in this one. I am going to say you were so full of happiness and excitement about Lisa Coppola that you were going to share it with another young lady just to brighten her day. And that I think Lisa Coppola made a mistake. Okay. Do you agree with me?
Either that, or it was the best decision she ever made in her life.
No. Well, it could be. Could have worked out. I don't know what her life. I don't know what happened to her. I hope she's watching because we do healing. Question: if this other young lady had turned you and said, "Yes, please buy me this. I need this outfit for whatever. I will accept your invitation," would you have bought it?
Well, to put it in poker parlance, John, I was bluffing.
Oh, see, that hurts me. That hurts me. Now that hurts me because you know what? I think you would have bought it. I don't know. Do you think it was expensive?
Yes, I think it was Saks Fifth Avenue. To be
All right,
honest.
well, maybe you wouldn't have. You would have. But well, so in some ways you walked away without either young lady.
Correct.
But you had a good story for here, and I bet you told the Villanova guys at that time.
I think so.
Texas, Arizona. I wonder if it's still around. I know that bar. Really good story. Okay, so you didn't ask Rushdie for his number, though, right?
No.
Okay. Because that would have been interesting. You would have been more if all of a sudden the window goes down with Lisa Coppola and Salman Rushdie's in the limo with her. 2 down. What do you got?
My next story actually takes place in California.
Nice.
And moved out there in the early 90s with one of our housemates, and a shout out to Brian O'Connor. And Brian moved out there not too long after me and was dating a woman who worked at a production company that put on commercials. And saw her one day, she's like, "Oh, we're doing some commercials tonight where we're paying extras and they'll pay you $50 and it's free food."
Okay.
So I get there, and it turns out it's a Nissan commercial with Michael J. Fox.
Oh, okay. Good.
And these were the days when celebrities didn't do commercials in the United States. It was a lot of it was overseas. So this is a Nissan commercial that was going to be shown in Japan only.
Okay.
And the premise of it was, the song at the time was Natalie Cole redoing her father's hit Unforgettable.
Oh.
So this was called the Unforgettable commercial.
Okay.
And the premise of it is that Michael J. Fox is on a date.
Mm-hmm.
They get in an argument at dinner, and then he's walking around the streets a little bit despondent.
Mm-hmm.
And he is walking down the street, and he bumps into a man that's with a couple walking down the street. And then he goes up to the Nissan showroom, sees the car, and the woman comes in the shadow, and everybody lives happily ever after. So they wound up, out of all the extras, must have been 30 extras, they picked out me to be in the commercial.
Okay.
So the direction was that Michael J. Fox is walking one way,
Uh-huh.
I'm walking the other way, hand in hand with a woman.
Uh-huh.
I hit into Michael J. Fox. We hit shoulder to shoulder. I turned my head like that slightly to look at him and keep on going.
Okay.
So the director said, "You got it. You turn it. You hit into him, slightly turn it, and then you walk away." So he's like, "I got it." So then I started thinking to myself, "This is my chance to get on camera. That I'm not going to show the side of my face.
Right.
I'm going to show my whole face."
Okay.
So go down, bump into Michael J. Fox, turn all the way around because the camera was coming this way. Cut! I told you. You slightly turn your head. You don't turn it all the way around. I was like, okay. Sure enough, I was stubborn. Kept on turning around. The director gave me a hard time. And then they were setting up the light. And I make the attempt to engage with Michael J. Fox. And I go, "Michael, I know we're bumping a little bit to each other. But just when we bump into each other, try to keep it above the waist."
You just didn't say that.
And he goes, "Is that a short joke?"
Is that true? Oh my God.
So anyway, finished the commercial, and so one of two things happened. I think that either Michael J. Fox is upset with me, cut me out. And my best work, as they say, is sitting on the cutting room floor. Or, as was only shown in Japan is I'm a huge celebrity in Japan.
That's right. If you go there right now, they bump into him. Oh my God! I have a great friend, Jack Watley, actor, watches this show. He was in a movie with Michael J. Fox, Casualties of War.
Oh yeah.
And they trained in Thailand. All that. Sean Penn was a really nice guy. He didn't mention you. I was a little worried. I thought maybe you were gonna like crash into him, hurt him, or like that. Why do you think they picked you out of all the extras? Were you wearing anything striking that day, or?
I think I was just one of the taller ones there. I think they wanted somebody tall for it.
Okay.
But yeah, my claim to fame is I bumped into Michael J. Fox about 10 times.
Was this post Alyssa Coppola or before your encounter with her?
This was post, I believe.
After. So maybe you still had a bit of confidence. Right. But before Rushdie. I'm just trying to get a chronology here, okay?
That was before Rushdie, correct.
Okay. So you never made it in that commercial. You never.
To tell you the truth, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what happened to it. Like I said, it's either my best work on the cutting room floor or I'm
Did you get
huge
paid?
in Japan.
Did you get paid?
I got actually they didn't give me any money. They wound up just giving me some food.
Japanese food?
Sushi.
Because I think it. You know, it's funny. I mean, I get your point because Brad Pitt. I read something or saw something he was talking about when he was up and trying to come up. He got little gigs, and he had one where he was serving food, and he had no line. And he said, "I'm getting a line," and he said something, and they said, "cut," and all that. Very good. Well, Michael J. Fox, if you're watching, maybe we can. Okay, maybe we can do something. Very good. And Back to the Future. Did you watch Back to the Future after that with anger? You know, did you forgive him?
I blame myself, John.
Did you leave Hollywood behind after that? Was that it? Were you? Because you did not pursue acting. Am I correct?
I did not. I was a one-hit wonder, as I said.
Very good. Very good. Do you have more? Do you have more for us? We have time. Can we ask you for another one, please?
I could add some more. Actually, one is probably a repeat, as they say, for somebody that was on our show before, which was Lisa Canino.
Oh, our great friend. Villanovan.
Yes. But this story goes back actually half a step from where Lisa comes in. Is that I was, again, living out in California.
Okay.
And I would play basketball with these group of guys. Mm-hmm. And where they invited both teams together. And one of the people playing basketball, they were friends of these guys, was no other than Dean Cain.
Oh, Superman.
Of Superman fame, exactly. And that was at the height of his fame when the show is out.
Right.
And let me tell you, Dean Cain was not short on confidence. When we had to separate into shirts and skins,
yes,
he insisted
that he
had to go.
I'm the opposite, by the way. I insist. I wear 2 shirts to the basketball club. Okay.
And yes, and he, again, in his he was in incredible shape, and he was Superman when he took that shirt off. And so we're take a break between games, and I started engaging with the conversation. And I said, actually, where'd you go to school? He's like, Princeton. I probably know part of this, but I just wanted to act dumb. And he said, I'm from New Jersey. And I'm like, what year did you go to Princeton? And he's like, I graduated 87, same as me. And I said, actually, a good friend of mine went to knew a famous graduate there, Brooke Shields. My friend's name is Lisa Canino. And he's like, I know Lisa.
No.
And I said, did you know Brooke? And I said, yes, I did. And he said, yes, I dated her. And the next words out of his mouth were, I took her virginity. It's like, okay, too much information. So fast forward, many years later, Lisa is in London. And gives me a call. It's like, I'm going to be out tonight with traveling with 3 of my girlfriends. We'll meet you at this hotel bar. Goes. Lisa her two friends, and Brooke Shields. So we're having have a couple of drinks, and I go, Brooke, I got to tell you a story. It's like years ago, I'm in California, and I met your old boyfriend, Dean Cain. And I started talking to him. And she stops me, and she goes, let me guess. He told you that he took my virginity.
My God.
Actually, I thought about not telling this story, but Brooke is on record in her books and some articles that is public information.
Okay, that he was
So
saying.
I don't think that I am telling any secrets there.
Wow.
So the story goes. So the story goes on. Lisa comes back a few years later with the same girls and Brooke.
Okay.
And we go out, and then afterwards we go back to their hotel bar, staying at a beautiful hotel in Mayfair. And at the end of the night, we're in the bar, and the conversation comes up, and was posed to the girls. What does a guy do that just gets you?
Okay.
Everybody kind of told their tale, and Brooke goes, you know what gets me is when a guy grabs me on both sides of the face, the cheeks, and plants a kiss on it. So I park it. So about half hour later, bar's closing, and we're saying goodbye. We're saying goodbye to everybody, and all four girls are lined up with Brooke on the end.
Okay.
So I go up to the first one, and European kiss on all three. Get to Brooke. Give her a European kiss on both cheeks. Took one step away. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe that I didn't take the opportunity to grab Brooke Shields by the cheek and give her a kiss. So it stayed with me.
As it should. As it should.
So fast forward, as you know, every year I try to do a Villanova dinner, a Villanova lunch, get everybody together.
Right.
And Lisa has come the last few years, and this year, unbeknownst to us, she invited Brooke Shields.
Okay.
So, great time, everybody drinking. At the end of the night, Brooke is saying goodbye. And I say, Brooke, I don't have any regrets in my life. But the last time I saw you, you told me one of the things that gets you is this. Grab her on the cheek. And as she's pulling away, basically I had to take her in a headlock. And I gave her a little kiss.
That's sweet.
And we all had a laugh about it. And it's like, okay, now I have no more regrets.
That's nice.
We still laugh about it to this day.
I think you excised the memory of Dean Cain completely. I was going to say the only way that story would be better if Alyssa Coppola drives by in a van, rolls it down, don't you ever stop, yells at you. What a nice story. Dean Cain sounds like sort of a jerk. I met Brooke too. What a night. That was a fun night. She's really fun. And Lisa's one of my favorites ever.
Lisa's the best.
Really, really funny.
Brooke
Watch her episode here in The Most Famous Person. Really good. And remember I said to Chris, he's so good about getting us all together, all our Villanova friends. And was Dean Cain a good ball player?
Yes, very good. Very, very good athlete. Well, he played football at Princeton and actually played in the pros. He actually played for the Bills. During the scab season, the strike season, he played I think one or two games and
really?
blew out his name.
Okay.
Yeah, you can fact check me on that.
I'm gonna ask you because I know my friend right now. You a better basketball player than Dean Cain?
I was better skilled. He was a better athlete.
That's right. Okay. He could dunk. You think?
No.
Okay. Did you guard him?
Yes.
I see. I knew it. I bet you beat him. Okay, Dean Cain. All right. That's Superman. He was big, but not as good about. You heard it right here. Better basketball player. And Brooke Shields likes Chris better than Dean Cain. Do you have another one? Can you give me one more at least?
Yeah. Let's keep on going.
We have time.
Let's see how much we have time.
One more.
So. It was, I forget the year exactly, but I was in the Caribbean, and it was New Year's Eve.
Okay.
December 30th.
Okay.
And I was down in St. Bart's with our friend Bert Jacobs.
Nice.
And Burt Jacobs had a very good friend by the name of Scott Rosenberg, who was a writer in Hollywood.
Okay.
His original claim to fame, he did a movie called Beautiful Girls with Uma Thurman.
I love that movie.
Great movie.
Set in Minnesota.
Yes.
Right? With, oh, go on, sorry.
And he also he went on fame, he wrote Con Air.
I love Con Air. Okay.
So Rosie, as they called him, got us an invite onto Paul Allen's boat, a party on the boat out in the Caribbean.
All right, here we go. Okay.
And I don't know if you know, people know Paul Allen, but he was the number 2 man at Microsoft.
That's right.
One of the richest men in the world.
One of the Trailblazers for a while.
Yes.
Basketball. Yeah.
Exactly. And the party was on his boat called the Octopus.
Okay.
And you can Google it. The Octopus at the time was the second biggest privately owned yacht in the world.
Okay.
Where you had to go down to the dock and you had to take a boat out to his boat.
Okay.
And you actually went inside the boat and up into the party.
Like a Bond villain, right?
Exactly. And so we go up, Bert and I go up into the party, and it was a C-list/B-list celebrity party.
Okay.
There was Martha Stewart.
Okay. She was trading stocks at the time. Okay.
Owen Wilson was there.
Oh, I love
was in a conversation with Owen Wilson.
Great guy.
Robbie Robertson.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, Bert loved that one. I talked to him for quite a while. Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Chili Peppers, right.
And several others. And the thing I was most impressed about the party is that this was the cell phone era that just started. And nobody really got out there, and everybody was acting cool. Everybody got in the pictures.
Right.
And the thing about Paul Allen is that he was a big music man. Loved music, and even opened up a music museum in Seattle. And part of his crew was a band.
Okay.
Band would travel with him all over the world.
Okay.
And so now the band is playing in the inner part of it. And they had the lead singer and everything else. And we're hanging out. Some people on the dance floor, some people out on the boat. And the song James Brown, I Feel Good, comes on.
Okay.
And you could tell that the lead singer has changed.
Okay.
So everybody kind of gravitates towards where the band is playing. And you look up, and it's Usher.
No. Really?
Singing.
Okay.
And that's when everybody got uncool, and everybody's taking out their cameras and going like that.
Right, right.
So he sings a song. Band comes out. I'm out on the dance floor, cutting the rug, having a little bit of a boogie, as we say in England, and I'm out there dancing.
Okay.
And I can see Usher now walking kind of like the edge of the dance floor.
Okay.
He gets directly behind me, and at the pace he was walking, I thought I would see him come out the other side.
Okay.
But he doesn't come out the other side for about 5 seconds, and then he comes out the other side.
Okay.
And I'm thinking to myself, did Usher just stop and stare at my and watch and watch me dance? One of the greatest dancers after Michael Jackson, the singers of all time. And I'm like, no. Sure enough, Rosie comes up to me immediately. He goes, dude, did you see that?
What happened?
He told me what I thought I knew. Usher stops behind me. He goes, Usher just stopped, stood behind you, and just watched you dance. And the epilogue of the story is that years later, I went to go see Usher perform.
He was doing your dance.
And he did it. He did the Soupy.
Soupy, which was banned. They put a fatwa on that dance years later.
It's kind of a cross between Michael Jackson, Elaine, and David Brett from The Office.
All right, so do we think Usher was so mesmerized because it was so beautiful? Because I've seen him dance; it's inspiring. Or was he appalled? What do you think? You think he was like he couldn't believe a white young man could move like this, or that it was a microcosm of everything he was against? And what made him stop? You don't know.
Back in the day, John.
You could move. You could still move.
It could have gone either way, but I like to think that he was impressed with my dance moves.
I'd like to think so too.
Actually, the other epilogue to that story was years later. I'm in Portugal, staying in a nice hotel, and there was a music festival in town.
Okay.
Walk into the lobby.
Okay.
And there's the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Really?
Walk up to them. I said, Anthony, you're not going to remember me, but I met you 2 years ago.
Okay.
I think it was around this time. We were both on Paul Allen's boat together, and we had a little bit of, as we say in England, a chin wag.
Nice.
And he said, that was a small little dinghy, wasn't it?
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
He didn't say, I remember you dancing. I wanted Usher. He didn't say Usher took his virginity or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Did he have a shirt on? Because he always has his shirt on.
He did have a shirt on. Flea was there as well, though. It was awful.
I like Flea. Flea. In a great movie, The Big Lebowski, Flea is in there. That's a really good story. Wow. I've seen you dance many times. I've danced with this young man. Usher's a good dancer.
Oh, one of the best.
But you never talked to him since.
No.
You never said to him.
He and I did not talk. He just stared at my feet.
Well, I don't blame him. Striking figure if you ever get a chance. So beautiful. How about one encore? You have one more left. An encore for this is extra. You don't have to pay for this one. This is everyone's cheering. We got one more. Let's get one more from you, Christopher. Do you have anything that you would like, or do you want to just come back another day? What would you rather do?
We'll go one more.
All right, one more.
It was the late 90s, and they were tearing down the old Boston Garden.
Okay.
And I got tickets to the last game of the Boston Garden. It was the Knicks versus the Celtics.
Okay.
Took off the day of work, went up the day before. The morning of the game, I'm walking around, doing some shopping, walking around Boston Street, and walking out of the Gucci store, and literally bump into Pat Riley.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Coach of the Knicks. Okay.
Thank you. Absolutely excited. Hey, Mr. Riley. Hi, my name's Chris Soprano. I came up from Jersey. So excited. The last game at the Boston Garden. You're making history tonight. Big Knicks fans. Can't wait to see the game. And he goes, and walks into the store. Basically snubs me.
Okay.
Fast forward.
Okay.
20 years later. I'm in Saint-Tropez with my parents.
Okay.
Saint-Tropez, France.
Okay.
We're at a beach club called Nikki Beach.
Okay.
And so just to set the scene for you, Nikki Beach is on the beach. But you have the ocean, you have the beach, you have the dunes, some of that we have here in Wainscott, and then is the beach club. And the beach club, it has all the loungers, and it has these 4-poster beds with curtains on them. Very, very, very posh.
Okay.
And then there was a slatted wooden sidewalk on top of the sand, maybe 3 feet wide, that would lead up to the bar and the restaurant.
Okay.
So invariably, some high-profile people would come, and what they would do is that they would take their boats in the Mediterranean. A dinghy would come out to get them, and they would come through the dunes and then walk up into the restaurant, as the bar, and have their lunch.
Okay.
And I was there with my parents, and it's not the place that parents hang out, if you will.
Okay.
So I got lounge chairs, rented lounge chairs, all the way to the back, closest to the dune where people come out.
Okay.
So we're sitting there, we're hanging out. And who comes through the dunes onto the sidewalk? Pat Riley and his wife.
Bang! 20 years right there. You didn't forget.
And I was kind of shocked that he was there, and he passed by, and I didn't get a chance to say anything. So now I'm just sitting there waiting.
You're not getting them off.
My parents said, "Can we go now?"
Uh-huh.
I'm like, "No." we had to stay. So sure enough, about 2 hours later, Pat Riley comes walking down the sidewalk.
Okay.
His wife maybe a step behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I get up, I get on that little sidewalk, and I block him. And I go, "Mr. Riley, I have a bone to pick with you." And he was cool. He goes, "What's up?"
He had mellowed. Yeah.
And at this time, his wife is now just behind him over his shoulder. And I started telling Pat Riley and his wife the story, just as I told it to you, how I saw him on Boston Street and he snubbed me.
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. Riley goes, "Well, were you rude to him?" I said, "Mrs. Riley, I swear, as I just told you the story, that's what happened with the story." And then Pat looks at me and he says, "Well, maybe just what I thought you had to say to me wasn't interesting." in a deadpan. And then he starts cracking up and he's like, "I'm just kidding you, Chris." He said, "What's the statute of limitation on apologies?"
Oh, isn't that nice?
He said, I'm sorry about that." He's like, "Tell me about yourself, what you were doing." We had a nice 5 minute conversation.
That's brilliant.
Exactly.
So he's really turned. He was probably nervous about the game 20 years ago.
Exactly.
It's really, this podcast I have, and this is exactly why it if you keep your eyes open and you're like Chris, you're kind of like engaged with just amazing brushes. And I asked him before, what's his strategy, but he always says he sees them as real people, but in different circumstances. You know what I mean? He tries to see as real people. And when you really think about what he's all saying throughout this thing, is these are real people. You know what I mean? They might be celebrities and all that, but deep down they have foibles and problems and all that, and moments and all that. And I think if you engage with them like this, it's great for stories. And this is Chris is a very good storyteller. So I always ask all my guests one question. Now you have multiple people, so maybe just one of them you want to say. If you could see one of them again, what would you say to them? What would you say to one person? Well, we could just go right through the list.
Oddly enough, it's again, I don't have that many regrets, but I had a chance at redemption. A couple years ago, I was in West Hampton Beach.
Okay.
At my friend's beach club. And Michael J. Fox is a member of the beach club.
Really?
And he was on the beach.
Oh.
And he was with his wife, Tracy, as we know.
Yeah. Tracy Pulliam.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I felt bad over the years that I actually almost told a bad joke to him that, potentially that I made fun of his height.
Yes.
And I would have reminded him of the story and apologized maybe, even though he wouldn't he wouldn't have remembered.
Right. You wouldn't have just bumped into him. Turn left. That's nice. We had a lot of fun. Maybe in the next year, this is sort of a tradition that Chris comes and visits me here. Give him a year, I bet you we can get a couple more stories. Maybe next year we'll be sitting in these same chairs and he'll have more for us. But I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. Out there, please like and subscribe. It's free. More shows are coming. Hope you enjoyed this one. You get a little extra for your money today. A little extra. Thank you, Chris.
John, thank you for having
Soupy,
me.
really funny.
It was an honor and a pleasure.
Funny guy. He'll be back. We'll get him back, and I hope you come back. And for the folks out there that he met, thank you for meeting this young man, and we appreciate celebrities. So thank you, and see you again.